question. Hey! Oh, I didn't realize the mics were muted either. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the weekly stream for Rocksmith 2014 from your friends here at Ubisoft Studio SF. We are the people that make this. Well, at least they're the people that make this. I'm the people that talks about it. I'm Dan Amrick. I'm the community developer, and we'll be going over some Shinedown DLC, and we'll be taking a look back at Crazy on You by Heart, which has one of the trickiest openings, and Matt Montgomery will be here to steer you through that. By the way, hey guys, hear any cool rumors this week? It's true. Rocksmith 2014 is coming out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One this November, the first week of November, depending on where you live. November 4 in North America and November 6 in not North America. And in fact, you might even you might already know what it looks like because we're running the PC version here. So we'll talk about this a little bit later on. But maybe good news for you depending on what your console habits are. If you're a PC user, this probably doesn't affect you at all. But new Shinedown DLC does. We have a 5-pack this week. It's available for Xbox 360, PS3, and on Steam for your PC and Mac. It is 5 songs, 45 Bully, Sound of Madness, Second Chance, and Enemies, and we will be doing 3 of those. We'll leave you to guess which ones they are. But let's take a look at all of them now. Hey gang, so we're back, and that's what you're in for this week. Lots of people really excited about this one this week. I think I had misjudged the appeal of Shinedown, and I thought like people were going to be hot or cold, but lots of people really excited about this. So we're always happy to see that we're bringing out music that people care about. That's nice. So first up, we're actually going to do Sound of Madness, and Jason Kokel is going to play guitar on that, but I want to point out Jason Kokel did not steal Audrey's guitar. That's an office guitar. That's one that I've been I'm shepherd for that guitar. And totally different. That's a Gibson Les Paul Studio. She got an Epiphone Prophecy Les Paul Custom plus EX, I believe. Yeah, that's right. I know everything. Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And joining you in his wig, still wearing the wig from the Boxsmith week, eh? It's a good look.
Haven't taken it off.
It's a good look for you. It's Sam Schwartz. You said that this is a little bizarre. This song, because you tracked it and you wound up learning a lot more than you bargained for.
Yeah, a little bit. So the opening riff this is a rare occurrence in Rocksmith where the way it sounds, the way it was recorded, the way it's performed live, and the way we note tracked it are all different things. And the trouble is, can we have some guitar audio, please? So, how it sounds, if you're listening to the song, the opening riff sounds like this. Something like that. How he played it in the studio is like this. So how did he get it to sound the first way? Well, he used an effects pedal called the whammy pedal. And for those who don't know effects pedals, the whammy pedal was made by Digitech about 20 years ago and still around today. And it has a rocker pedal that allows you to oscillate between pitches, usually an octave or two up or down, but it can do harmonization stuff. So what he's doing there is playing it all on that low open string and shifting between it to make it sound like...
Oh, so that's all just with the treble.
Yeah, all with the pedal. And when you watch him live, he plays it with the pedal in the intro until the drums and the bass come in, and then he walks away, and then he kind of plays some hybrid of the first way, so he doesn't have to be tied to this pedal for like most of the song. So when I was note tracking this, I was like, well, how are we going to make this fun so someone could walk away from the game and still know how to play the riff and not just play like this and say, hey, look, I can play this song when it clearly doesn't sound like it.
Right.
And we didn't want to put in a tone switch event for all of those things where it shifts, because one, it won't sound the way he does it, and it'll also be very epileptic for the player. You'll see switch, 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 switch all on the screen. It's
right.
So what we ended up doing was note tracking it like... So you can actually play those octaves, similar to how he would probably do it live. So that's about it. I mean, so it's a very conscious decision to make it different and sort of a hybrid of an authentic performance of what was on the record versus what he might do live versus what it actually sounds
as
like.
Accurate as you can be without having to ask people to buy a $200 effects pedal.
Yes, which you should not ever run in line between your guitar and the real tone cable.
Right.
So
that's actually a question that comes up fairly often. Can I put effects in line? No, you shouldn't, because Rocksmith is actually listening for a clean tone, and then all the effects processing happens within the game. So do not actually...
We can't guarantee that it will work or sound
it is
good.
It is kind of funny to see people say, yeah, it's not detecting any of the notes through my tube screamer. It's not designed to do that.
It wouldn't do that.
Any things to say about the bass?
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's super fun.
All right, then I'm going to get out of the way and let you guys do it. While I step on myself. Sound of Madness by Shinedown, available now in all versions of Rocksmith. And yes, I will be checking in on the chat. Want to remind you that we are doing some giveaways. We have some Ernie Ball swag. We have some DLC codes from Steam that we will be giving away in between songs. But first... couple of questions in the chat already. Lau XTP says, any chance for a new pack of songs from a band that already has a DLC pack? For example, a new pack of Muse. This is an idea that we have discussed, and we certainly haven't ruled out. So if you have a band that you like that's already represented in the library, by all means, go ahead and use the request app, and let us know what other songs by that artist you'd like. Certainly, if the demand is high enough, we might do that. No promises, no announcements or anything, but I think some people felt like, oh, I missed my favorite song by that artist because it's already in the game. And yeah, we don't see it that way. So you might yet get your favorite song, but do let us know through the request app that I'm sure Misty will now let everybody know exists. And welcome back, Misty. She was on vacation, she was away for work, and we've missed you. Misty is our chat mod. She is your god. Follow her advice and follow her instructions. You may actually win some of our raffles today. John LR2000 asks, how long did it take you guys to make these 5 songs? Was this a 2-week process? 3-week? Same as well? Anywhere between 6 and 10 days, says Brian McCune, lead note tracker off camera. Sure. I've never actually posted the photo because I haven't actually asked for permission, but we have a master calendar that shows which note tracker is working on which song at any given time, and some of them do overlap. So, obviously 5 different people worked on 5 different Shinedown songs because that's the most efficient way to do it. For each song, probably between 6 and 10 days. And then, of course, things like QA from David Stevens and certification. So the process is longer, but the actual let's build the files that you play is generally between a week and a half, 2 weeks. Depends. For people asking, Sam Schwartz gets all of his power from the powdered wig. His is a powered wig. I see a whole bunch of requests, more Foo Fighters, Jimi Hendrix, black metal, all kinds of things. And again, please use that request. I saw that, Sam. Please use that request app to let us know what artists and specific songs from those artists you would like to see. We do use that app. We comb through the thousands, tens of thousands of requests that we sometimes get, and it does matter. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, that opening that you were talking about, Jason, that seems very accessible compared to all the rigmarole that the actual artists went through.
Yeah, I mean, he did it to get a specific sound, and it does sound very cool, but it didn't translate to our game very well,
right.
So we wanted to give...
That's the Rocksmith way. Make it better for you to play, even, when you can't be 100% accurate. Well, thanks, guys. Anything else?
Well, there was one thing I noticed somewhere in the beginning that my G string was a little out of tune, and I noticed that it kept getting a bunch of misses, so this note I played down here instead, and that's a good lesson. This note, even though it says 7th fret on the orange string, this is the same note, this is the same note, this is the same note. The same note exists in like 5 different places on the guitar.
So you can sometimes fool it if you get the same frequency that it's looking for.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't even want to really shift anymore to go... do that. I just sit down here. This was much easier for me, and I like to do that a lot. I hate shifting. I like to stay in one position for as long as possible.
I don't like to move.
Exactly. But yeah, I pass out if I have to do anything more. Yeah.
Oh, hydraulic power. Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
usually.
Well, you can move now if you'd like, because we're going to swap out to a new song and do a giveaway.
Flip the switch?
Sure.
All right. And now I can go.
Thank you, Jason and Sam. Much appreciated. Next up, we have Jared and David coming in to play a song for you guys. And while they do all that swap around, I'm going to steal all the limelight. I'm going to be in the middle of the thing. We're going to do a giveaway. We've got some Steam codes courtesy of our friends at Steam, and also courtesy of Misty in our chat room. And Misty is going to do a quick raffle to give away 5 packs of 5-packs. So all winners in this will get Steam codes for all 5 Shinedown songs. That is Sound of Madness, Second Chance, Enemies, 45, and Bully. And all you have to do is follow her instructions to the letter. She'll tell you when to type, and she'll tell you what to type, and then it's a random draw, and then you'll have to check your messages, possibly your other messages, not just your friend's message, because you have multiple sections of your mailbox, and then she'll give you the code, she'll send it to you, and you can redeem it right away and get it, and you can have 5 free songs in Rocksmith, because we love you. Hello, gents.
Hello.
Okay, maybe not gentlemen, but Jared McAdams, hello. He's the guy playing Audrey's guitar. And David Stevens, also playing a guitar, so this means that we're going to not have bass on this song. I wonder why that is.
You want me to talk about that?
Sure, go ahead.
One of the reasons we wanted to talk about this arrangement is because the rhythm arrangement uses a capo. We thought it might be a good chance to talk about the capo lifestyle.
The capo lifestyle.
It's the only way to roll, if you ask me. You only have to know 3 chords, then you play every song.
By,
Johnny
Tesla,
Capo.
when he was playing for DCAC.
Right, yes. And it was stolen from him by the evil Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. That guy.
So the song is Second Chance, if you haven't figured that out yet. And, of course, we actually had some conversation about this. People saying, well, if I had known there was a capo, I wouldn't have bought this thing. And it's like, well, you know, a capo is a really good thing for a musician to have around, especially if one of your goals is to just be able to strum chords and have friends sing at like campfires or whatever. Vocalists generally only can sing within a certain range, but if you know the chords to a song and you can slap a capo on your guitar, you can change the key of that song very easily. And so if they want to sing it in G, that's no problem, you know, then you can move on up. But yes, it is unusual that Ubisoft, sorry, I'm looking at the screen where it says Ubisoft, and I'm just doing one of those play a song nonstop play, solo attack. It is unusual that we would use a capo in a song, but this is not the only one to do it, right?
No, we've got a bunch. On disc, I know there's a capo arrangement for what's the Rolling Stones song? Paint It Black.
Ah, okay.
And let's see, I remember doing one. I know
Oasis tune has one.
Wheels by Foo Fighters has a capo arrangement. Pumped Up Kicks has a capo arrangement. And there's the capo I'm going to use for today's performance, the Shub. This is a nice kind of capo because you can control the tension. There's another kind of capo, which I meant to bring in, but I forgot. But it's just like a clamp, and you just squeeze it.
A spring.
Spring-loaded.
Yeah.
Are we swapping again?
Swapping again.
This is fun.
You're in tune, though.
That's good.
But this is nice because you can control the tension on it. So depending on how thick your guitar neck is or how much tension you need, you can raise or lower it, which might prevent applying the capo to cause you to go so far out of tune, which happens sometimes.
Yeah, too much clamping, and you can see the capo there, or you would if we were showing. Can you show the screen just for in case you haven't tried a song with a capo in it? Even the tuner shows you that you should have. Oh, there it is. That you should have a capo in that song. Where does the word capo come from? No, I'm not gonna.
It's Italian for head.
There you go. Thank you. So you're basically replacing the head stock of your guitar.
That's right.
And making it think that, the guitar is only that wide.
That's exactly right.
It's more or less.
It's also the like the capo music.
The capo, that's right.
And also like the capo of the crime boss. All the same word.
Sure. Is there anything that David? You're joining us on the second guitar. Who's playing what? You're playing rhythm. You're playing lead. Is that the idea?
I think that's the deal.
Okay. I will step out. Is there anything you guys want to say to set it up? Anything we need to know ahead of time? I guess not.
I think maybe we'll play it, and then maybe we'll talk a little more about Capo's stuff after.
Okay, sounds good. So this is a monster hit from Shinedown. Actually, if you look at Spotify, I think this has 13 million plays. The song is called Second Chance. Huge hit. Available now in Rocksmith 2014. I'm going to go back to my cool FM DJ days and start posting right to the first lyrics of the song. Drive all you guys crazy. I have a bad habit more than a gift. Lau XTP just asked if that was the only giveaway. No, that's the first giveaway this week. We have some great accessory packs and strings from Ernie Ball. We've got one for guitarists and one for bassists. Lau, we will be doing the Ernie Ball giveaways a little bit later in the show. We usually leave the broadcast for about an hour, sometimes a little bit more than an hour. But I'll let you know when they're coming up. We'll even show you what you're going to win. Stick around. Superman-O wears a capo? Really? Oh, God. Yeah, if you're in the market for a capo, there's several different designs. Dunlop makes one of the more affordable ones, which is basically a little piece of metal, a little piece of rubber to go on the strings, and a piece of nylon cord around the back, and you sort of buckle it into place. These are affordable, they work fine, but they're a pain in the butt to take on and take off. You'll also see some with elastic bands kind of things, similar designs. And then you have the nice shub one that has a little tension screw on the back that Jared was showing. And Kaiser is a major brand for the folks that do these spring-loaded capos. And if you want to get really fancy and expensive, there's a nice one from G7. A company called G7. They're recent. Their capos are a little bit more expensive, but beautiful-looking devices, very easy to remove with one hand. Super cool. Question about tablature. Do we just copy the tabs from the official books? No, we do not, actually. Our trained musicians use their ears and their skills and their knowledge, and they figure out the song on their own. Thank you very much. Hey, guys, thank you. Hey, oh.
Hey,
hey. So you wanted to talk more about capos, eh?
Yeah, well, one thing to say about that arrangement is... I think for this kind of song, that's kind of a pop radio hit, this is a great like campfire song. So we wanted to keep that arrangement pretty straightforward. So if you're looking to hum and strum, you know, just like sing the words and just that'll work. You know, this is a great arrangement for that. And once you've learned it with the capo on, you can totally take that and just play it on without a capo, and you can play that on any guitar that somebody just puts in your hand and says play a song, and you can sing and
Strum
play this
away.
song, and you can move the capo to any position if you've got somebody who needs to sing in another key.
That's right. If you have a huskier singer, then just take off the capo.
Right.
Needs a second chance.
So, yeah, and as Dan was saying, there are a lot of different designs for capos, and it's a super handy thing to have if you're going to play much guitar at all. But if you don't have one...
What if I don't have a capo and I can't get to a music store?
Check this out. Here's one I prepared earlier. You can actually make a sort of quick and dirty capo out of a pencil and some rubber bands. So you see I've just got the rubber bands bunched around there holding the pencil against the fret. This is just, junk you would find. I mean, I just grabbed this out of a supply closet.
Well, you took it off of my desk, but other than that...
Yeah. You weren't using this, were you?
No, that's fine. Not now.
So if that's the only thing stopping you from playing around with this arrangement and you're not interested in buying a capo for yourself, that's a quick way to do it. You can learn the arrangement, and then you can play the song in any key that you want to.
True.
Yeah.
That.
Yes, thank
Anything
you.
else, David? Any insight on your part on this song? Anything you want to talk about?
It's pretty straightforward. The arpeggio section just has some pretty basic chord shapes that don't change too much. One thing you can do to keep from having to move too much is just kind of bar across when you play the beginning, and just pick up your finger. And then you've got the first two sections without moving your hand. And then they just slide up a fret and a string. And that's the first half of it. The second half gets a little more trickier where you're skipping strings and stuff, but
And what I do on that is I just use like a half bar, so I'm just barring across 3 strings instead. You can totally do that and bar the whole thing, but I just do that, and then just pick up that one finger.
Does the pencil have to be number 2?
It does, or you'll fail.
There's a
the
sympathetic
SATs.
vibration in that particular style of graphite, I believe, that makes everything better.
It makes everything chewier. You can also use it to lube up your nut.
That's true. I don't know if a lot of people realize that. New players, if you have problems where you're breaking strings and they're breaking at the nut, or if you're bending strings and you feel like they're catching on the nut, draw a little number 2 pencil. A little graphite will absolutely lubricate that nut slot, and it'll let the string move a little bit easier, travel a little bit.
Also,
smoother.
when you're trying to tune, if you hear your string going pop and it like jumps further than you want it to jump, instead of smoothly transitioning through the pitches, that might be some tightness in your nut slot.
And on that bombshell, hey, what do you say we're going to take a very short break. We're going to show you a success story of somebody who has done the 60-day challenge. If you have not done the 60-day challenge, or if you started the 60-day challenge and had some technical problems with it, good news, we've fixed those technical problems. Pretty darn sure. So the 60-day challenge should now be accurately reporting as long as you're playing in the modes that it tracks. If you play, if you play the game for an hour a day in Learn a Song or Lessons, then the game will track that. You can look at your progress on the web, and after 60 days, not necessarily consecutive days, but 60 days where you put in a real serious effort of playing those modes for an hour a day, you will be able to play guitar. It's one of the fastest ways ever. So let's take a look at somebody here, and we'll be back with Matt Montgomery to look at that really wild intro to Crazy on You and finally demystify that. So stick around. Thanks for watching.
My name is Aaron Parrish. I'm 34 years old. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I was always a quiet child. I always liked music, listening to music. So music was kind of something I always wanted to do. Day one, you plug in the guitar, you tune up, you get set all up, and you're right in there playing a song. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think it will pull me in to where I get that addiction to video games, so I know this will be great, for me. The software was giving me more notes each time I played it, or different notes or chords. just overall, my finger movement is getting a little better. So one of my challenges is playing what my brain is telling my fingers to do. Having my fingers catch up with what my brain is telling it and what's being shown on the screen. I'm still having a blast just learning new songs. I have noticed myself improving. I feel more confident. It's motivating me by the points that you get. It's a competition with yourself. When you're playing mini games and you see, okay, I made it this far up the leaderboard, and then the next time you're down here, you're like, I gotta get better. Playing this song over and over again has helped me to really get into it. Now I'm to the point where I could play full songs and remember what I've been playing. I would definitely call myself a guitar player now. I never called myself that before. Today, I can say I'm a guitar player.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rocksmith 2014 weekly stream. I'm here with some of the fine note trackers that make the songs that you play every week. And this week we're looking at Shinedown overall, as you can see by our giant logo. We've got a new, fresh Shinedown DLC pack of 5 songs available this week. And we gave away some Steam codes for that earlier on, and they're gone, but we still have new things to give away. I'm happy to say that now is the time that we'll be giving away a fine pack from Ernie Ball full of cool prizes. And here are those prizes. We have 2 sets of strings for you, regular slinkies and cobalt slinkies, both in the very popular middle-of-the-road 10-gauge. We have a peg winder. We have a dozen picks with the Ernie Ball logo on them, some Wonder Wipes, which is their maintenance system, clean and replenish the fretboard oil and things like that, and of course also an extra black strap, which always looks good on pretty much any kind of guitar finish. So our friend Misty in the chat room is going to tell you what you need to do. In addition to that, you will also get Rocksmith stickers. I'll send you some of those and some of the black Rocksmith picks,
Put them on your guitar.
Yeah, put these all over your guitar. Not the case, the guitar itself. It's very important. But yes, you'll get all that stuff if you send Misty all the information that she asks for, which, frankly, is just your name, your address, and your phone number. Now, we don't use the phone number for anything nefarious. It's just that the delivery company and the mailroom won't let us ship packages unless we have a contact if something goes wrong. And I'm sure there's some people here in the chat room who have already won things that can tell you that they were not harassed. I have no interest in calling you and asking you, hey man, how's it going with Rocksmith? Is everything going okay?
Yourself, Dan.
Yeah. Well, Brian McCune.
If we ever get a hold of those numbers, it's all over.
Brian McCune and Matt Montgomery may feel differently, and they may actually call you for advice or to borrow money or for a ride to take them to the airport or something like that.
Yeah,
but I won't do it.
They don't pay us for anything.
Yeah.
Though, so.
Hi, Matt. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Good to be back.
And Brian, yeah, I guess it's okay to see you too. So, really, let's talk about this ridiculous introduction to Crazy on You, which is actually, the funny thing is, since this was named as the backtrack, it's been haunting me. Shows up on the radio, shows up in my shuffle play, shows up, like, I've heard it maybe 5 or 6 times, where normally I would hear it maybe once a month.
Yeah, that always happens to me after I finish a note track.
Right.
And I've been working on a song and listening to it over and over for 2 weeks. Then I'm like done with it, and then I hear it on the radio, and I want to pull out my hair.
Yeah, and you just can't handle it anymore.
Cannot handle it.
But now that you've had a little time, because this was one of the DLC tracks earlier this year for Rocksmith 2014. This is available as a single, right? It's always, I mean, everything's available as a single, but is this part of a larger pack as well?
No, it's not part of a pack.
This was just sort of a week of classic rock singles, if I recall. Holy cow, how do you do that intro? I'm sure there's an easy answer.
prayer is helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Satanic pacts, if not. I suppose if you don't want to pray, maybe you can go down below,
no
get help from
judgments
there.
here. From
Right,
the guitar gods are very Unitarian.
This is the Bay Area, after all.
That's right. Very open-minded.
Very open-minded.
How do you get a handle on doing this very complicated? Well, for one, our game only works with guitars with an an electric pickup in them of some sort. So a 1/4-inch out jack is what you need to play this game. But if you look at the videos, which we have posted actually in the forums at rocksmith.ub.com, it's pretty cool to see the band play this song live, both in 1977 and last year in 2013. But the opening is obviously played on an acoustic guitar.
Yep.
So, is it easier to play on an electric?
In some ways, but I think in other ways, I think it's more helpful to have a wider neck.
Okay.
So I think it is maybe a little bit easier on the right acoustic guitar, but it's still playable on electric for sure. Not by me, but by some people. And yeah, I would just say with this... Riff Repeater slowdown feature is your friend. If I can go on a little practice rant. The worst thing that people do, and I caught myself doing this actually right before we were going to go on, you play the part you know, and then you get to the part you don't, and you slow down. And then you speed back up once you get to the part you know because it feels good.
Sure.
But really what you want to do is you want to slow it down and take it at a steady tempo, which Riff Repeater does for you. But outside of Rocksmith, that is how you should practice.
Metronome is your friend.
Metronome is your friend. Riff Repeater is very cool because it will not let you slow down mid-phrase. If you practice by playing quickly and then slow at the hard parts, you're practicing it
not the way it's
going to be.
Right.
So when you go to actually play it, you're just going to stumble, slow down, completely fall apart. If you practice it and you're making mistakes and playing it wrong, you're reinforcing the wrong thing.
Okay, so 100% at 80% speed is better.
Even if you can play a riff, see if you can play it slowly, because it's kind of harder in a way, and if you can play it slowly, speeding up is not the hard part.
Okay.
But if you can play it at a steady tempo, even at 80% speed, really slow. I was working on it this morning when I looked at it for the first time, I'm serious. I was practicing it that slow.
Yeah.
Sounds cool at that tempo.
It actually does.
Yeah, I did not practice this up to speed this morning, knowing that my time was better spent doing it slowly rather than playing it fast over and over again, trying to get it there. So slow and steady without slowing down.
Yeah, that's what I was doing for all those leady bits that I'm totally going to choke on today. I was going into Riff Repeater. I set it to 62%.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Oh, God, this is not going to happen. So I will be flailing about the guitar. Matt might be doing the same, but his will inevitably sound better.
Yeah, for an advanced or even professional guitar player, Riff Repeater is the ability to slow down an individual phrase is the most useful tool for the advanced guitar player in the game, I think.
Absolutely.
Now, I took a look at the lead track of this week, too, and while it was beyond my skills because I had simply never attempted it, it did seem like it was very achievable compared to a lot of leads. This seems like it has a couple of tricky bits, but if you're looking for, a big-name song that people will recognize and you want to learn that lead, this is a pretty good one to try.
That main riff, if you got... Well, you guys can't see the progress bar, but when you do see the progress bar for the lead part, when it first comes in, that boom, gong, 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 it's a great first position, uses a riff that uses open strings, that's a perfect recipe for a beginner to have success with a very iconic riff.
Yeah.
Now all that other stuff, it'll take some time to work up, but you can get the main lead guitar part very easily, I believe.
Yeah, and actually the rhythm part, once you get through the introduction or just kind of survive through it, it becomes very hum and strummy and is a good, very good to know, easy to play, good to reinforce, very achievable chart. So
Cool. So let's achieve it.
All right.
Achieve! Crazy on You by Heart. Again, this is available now for Rocksmith 2014. It's as a single. Just take a look in your favorite platform store or in the in-game store, and you should find it.
Is this mic killed?
That mic will be killed. It's dead. I will go through the chat and do a little bit of checking out what questions you guys have been asking. Well done, Brian. Let me tackle a couple of questions that I see. RCT Longstreet says, any ETA on being able to get Rocksmith 1, the original Rocksmith DLC, into Steam without having to own the original game? At this time, we have asked Valve to remove that restriction, and they've done it on a handful of tracks, but they haven't done it on all of those tracks. So we have asked them. We've actually asked them again recently. We haven't seen any motion on that. We'll continue to ask them to do it, but it's not a question of us being able to make that change. It is specific to Valve. You'll notice that that problem does not exist on our console platforms. So that will be something that we hope gets resolved, but we keep asking Valve, and we're kind of at their mercy. What is with Brian's finger? Is that a guitar-related injury? I don't think it's a guitar-related injury. It's a mystery injury, which can only mean that Brian did something really stupid. No, not a guitar-related injury, but please notice that he can still pick. It is interesting that long ago, Les Paul was in a car wreck, a very serious car accident that almost lost his life from that. But he did wind up with a broken arm, and when he went to the doctor to get a cast, he asked him to set his arm in playing position so that he could still play the guitar, because that was his livelihood. So he had that cast on for like 2 or 3 months, and just had his arm created in like that, his right arm, picking arm, bent. You totally got it. I wasn't looking. I assume you got 100% on that riff, Brian. The recording got it. Did one of the girls from Heart actually play this, or was it other band members, says John LR2000. If you watch the live videos that we've posted over in the forums at rocksmith.ub.com, Matt did a nice little write-up about some of what's going on under the hood and what you should consider when you're listening to the song before you attempt to play it in the game. You will see that it is Nancy Wilson. It is one of the Wilson sisters who does that opening. The lead was Howard. Who was? Oh, his first name is Howard. The lead guitarist in Heart, and I cannot remember. Howard Leeds. I don't know. He's a famous Gibson collector too. He claimed for a time, I believe, to be one of the only people to play a Moderne, one of the mythical '57 models that came out around. It was prototyped around the same time as the Explorer and the Flying V, and those two guitars ultimately did get made. But the Moderne, it's a big soap opera as to whether it actually was made in the 50s or not. They have since done reissues, but I have studied the Moderne for several years, and I'm pretty damn sure they never made it. But Howard Leeds had a guitar that was purported to be a 57 Moderne. Billy Gibbons also claims he owns a 57 Moderne, but he will not show it to anyone. So take that for what you will. Let's see, what else have you guys been asking me that I may have missed? not too much strumming in this tune. On behalf of rhythm guitarists, there is never enough strumming in a song. Absolutely. Well done. You succeeded. No, you succeeded in my world. I don't know if you succeeded in the...
I blame my missed notes on the finger.
Yeah, well, that's great. You have the injury. You're like playing injured, like a heroic basketball player or something.
Absolutely. So this is the equivalent of the Carmelo Anthony sleeve.
That's right. Yeah. If you didn't have that on, you would have gotten 90%. I'm sure.
Yeah.
His finger also.
Wow, 87%.
Trust me, dude, because I tried this and I didn't get anywhere near 87%. So you're doing better than I'm doing for sure.
Yeah, so some pretty gnarly bits. I don't know if you want to talk about any of the stuff that's in this part, or should we move on?
No, you can talk if you'd like. We've got time.
You know, I was looking completely at the rhythm arrangement. I haven't played the lead in a while, so...
Okay, then let's just move past it.
All right.
But I will say that I was first a big fan of all the other rhythm games that came before Rocksmith. And Crazy on You was a favorite chart of mine to play, so I was very excited once we licensed this to be like, I am taking that step of, oh, I've mashed the buttons, now I'm actually going to start to achieve playing this riff, and I don't think I would have been able to do that before Rocksmith, honestly. So.
I found myself in the same position, and that's why I'm still at like 40% mastery. I remember, honestly, I do remember playing Crazy on You in Guitar Hero, and I looked at that opening chart, and I went, nobody can do that. You know, I was still playing on, like, medium at that point. I had not gotten up to expert. And then once I got up to expert, I'm like, I feel like a total badass now. You know, like, that was kind of great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little Q&A, and actually, we're going to cut away to a video about this week's big announcement, or... I guess it was ESRB's big announcement a couple of weeks ago. It was our confirmation, let's put it that way. But while we swap out for our last song of the day, take a look at this video, and then I'll come back and tell you some of the things you need to know about it. Here we go.
We challenged people across the country to learn guitar in 60 days with Rocksmith. Here's what happened.
Oh wait, I should probably turn it up, huh?
No! It actually tracks every note you play.
And as you totally nail each section, it gets harder.
They've got like hundreds of songs from so many bands.
The fact that you're plugging in a real guitar is awesome.
I can't even imagine being where I am in such a short time.
Rocksmith costs way less than any private lessons you can do. On day 60, I've got awesome guitar riffs that I can pull out anytime. I feel like I'm a guitar player now.
The all-new Rocksmith 2014 edition, the fastest way to learn guitar. Start your 60-day challenge today at rocksmith.com. Rated T for Teen.
Yes, the rumors are true. So it's finally coming to PS4 and Xbox One. What happened to you? You'll be okay. So I just wanted to address some of the commentary and some of the questions that we've gotten about the announcement for PS4 and Xbox One. One person asked, why didn't you announce it before? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Well, part of that is because we didn't have the release date buckled down until the absolute last minute. It's the nature of when games are in development that companies do not discuss them ahead of time. What happens if the game doesn't come out after all? Blizzard just sort of had to say, that game we never actually announced but you guys knew about? Well, we decided we're not going to make that game after all. And that was a 7-year process. It's kind of crushing for everybody involved. And, until you're absolutely sure that your game is coming out, you don't say anything publicly. If you own DLC on Xbox 360, you will also own that same DLC on Xbox One. If you own a collection of DLC on PS3, you will also own it on PS4 if you decide to upgrade. The game is essentially a very solid port. It's the same experience that you know from Rocksmith 2014. We take advantage of a couple of little things that the newer systems do. Obviously, 1080p graphics is always a nice perk. On the Sony side, if you have a Vita, you'll be able to plug in your Vita and do remote play. Now, the game will not track you. You will not be able to actually sort of get scored in anything, but say you get kicked off the main TV because somebody else wants to watch a show, and you still feel like practicing your note tracks, you can then take those note tracks on the Vita, go to another room, and just sort of work on them, just woodshed, and then when the TV gets back, then you can do that. So, that's a convenience to some people, may not be a big deal to you, but we understand. On the Xbox One side, you will be able to use voice commands if you've got the Kinect. When we started the game, the Kinect was part of the core bundle, whereas the PS4 camera was not. So it made sense to say, hey, if everybody's going to have a microphone live in the room on this system, but not everybody's going to have it on this one, let's go ahead and implement that. So that's in there too. There is currently no upgrade pricing. I've got a lot of people saying, like, but I just bought that game 10 months ago and I want it for cheaper. Well, I know you want it for cheaper. But we don't have a system like that in place. The idea is really to extend Rocksmith beyond the 4 platforms and make it 6 platforms so that people that maybe were spending their money on that new hardware last year instead of buying our game, which they should have done. We just have more people invited to the party now, and that's the idea. We figure some of you are going to be transitioning away from the previous hardware and onto the current gen. That's great. That's why we did the DLC forward thing for you, so that you would not have to feel like, man, I have to buy all my music again. Nope. You own all the music that you owned before, and that's cool. So that's really the perk for people who are thinking of upgrading. But quite honestly, if you don't want to upgrade because you're happy with what you're on, that's okay. We're not going to stop supporting the PS3. We're not going to stop supporting the Xbox 360. We have DLC in the pipeline. We are still taking all of your requests and taking them very seriously. We have a lot of stuff coming up, and there is no end date. I'm being told that my job is secure in that there's no end date to when DLC is coming out. So we're just going to keep generating it, and it's going to come out for all 6 platforms at the same time, schedules willing, retailers willing. Sorry, PS3 folks. I know you've had some trouble in Europe lately, but so don't worry. If when you're ready to upgrade, sort of Rocksmith 2014 will be there for you. And if you have a friend who didn't get Rocksmith 2014 but did get one of the new systems and is interested, this is your opportunity to be our street team. Please go out there and tell those people. November 4th in the U.S. and North America, and November 6th in Europe, and all those other international countries that I'm sure everybody's going to chime in right now and say where they're from in the chat. Now that I'm done talking about that, and again, if you have more questions about that, you see all of our social media stuff underneath there. Feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter, or send us an email at rocksmithgame@ubisoft.com. I'll be happy to answer your detailed questions. There's also an FAQ posted in the forums, which is probably already has the answer to every question that you can think of. So go to rocksmith.ub.com and you will find that in the main Rocksmith 2014 discussion group. It's been a hot topic. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey, it's Brian and Greg. Hello, Brian Pody and Greg Barr. How are you guys?
Good. Excellent. Doing well.
I don't believe you. Say it like you mean it.
I'm really good.
All right. What are you guys going to be doing for us today?
We are doing enemies.
Enemies?
Enemies.
So we're not going to do Bullier 45 this week.
We're not going to do Bullier.
So any of you guys that had Bullier 45 in the pool there, you just lost.
I did note track 45. But
you did, but you chose to do enemies. Why is that?
I chose to do enemies. Really, the reason is because enemies packs more notes into a shorter amount of time, and I think, as we all know around here, the way you judge the quality of music is by the quantity of notes.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. This is why Michelangelo Badio is so fantastic, because he crams as many notes as he can possibly. A guitar in joke for you guys.
Get all of them in there.
Yes,
if you possibly can.
Anything that we need to know about this one?
So, if you were around for our first track, Jason was talking about the whammy pedal and how he sort of got around that and avoided tone switches. I didn't do that. I have a billion tone switches in this song. So what the guitarist is actually playing is that, but what you're hearing is... So that's ridiculous to play, so I actually put in the 2-octave tone switch. So you'll see a lot of amps falling throughout the tune, but it works pretty well, and it kind of shows off just how much we can do with those tone switches, so it's fun. That's the big thing. There's a lead riff that's kind of tough, which you'll see me flailing around at, but yeah, it's a fun song.
Okay. Greg, any advice on bass? Strap in, keep up.
Straightforward, yeah, basically. There's a couple pretty quick shifts from like 2nd position to 8th position, so those are tough. But if you practice and you just go with the way it's naturally leveled, it's pretty perfect for learning those things.
Okay. So let's do it. This is our last song of the day, but we still have another giveaway coming up, so stick around, especially for you bassists. We'll be doing a nice Ernie Ball gift pack that we'll show you a little bit later. And here we go. Enemies, by the way, if you haven't seen the video is pasted on our Facebook page. If you like Extreme Pro Wrestling, you'd probably like this video. Couple of questions being asked about the PS4 and Xbox One editions. We stream using the PC version. Yes, we have some stuff planned that will show exactly how the PS4 and Xbox One versions look later on. Talking about a special streaming event, actually. Not sure if it'll come together, but I also am planning to give you guys looks at how remote play works before the game comes out, so you can see it and stuff like that. A popular question has been if I bought Xbox 360 DLC for my PS4. No, you may not. And that's not our restriction. That's because you gave Microsoft money, and now you're asking Sony to give you that same value, and it just doesn't work that way. All of those electronic stores are run by different companies, and, you can understand. The analogy I often make is Ubisoft is, say, Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola is stocked both by McDonald's and Burger King. But if you walk into Burger King with a McDonald's cup and say, give me a refill, they're going to give you a funny look. So there is currently no game and no publisher that does that kind of, I bought it on Microsoft and I have it on Sony transfer. So sorry about that, guys. Same goes for Steam. Steam is its own independent platform, not related to either of the other two. So if you've been buying PC DLC, you cannot carry it over to PS4 or Xbox One. But such is the reality of the game business, guys. Sorry. But again, if you have 360 DLC, you can use that on Xbox One at no additional cost. If you bought DLC on PS3, you'll also be able to re-download it on PS4. And that's all you'll have to do, by the way. You have the license for that. You do not have to connect any cables between your old console and your new console to physically transfer that data. You'll be able to download the songs fresh. Might take you a little while, depending on how big of a fan you are of Rocksmith DLC. But you'll only have to do it once. Cocky Rooster says, I feel sort of bummed that I convinced a friend to buy the 360 version from Amazon last week. Don't feel bad, Rooster, for two reasons. One, that's just coincidence. We announced as soon as we had a firm date we could. No matter when we announced this game, somebody would have just bought it. But also, we are going to continue supporting all four of the existing platforms with fresh DLC. They're not going away. There's too many people using them, and Rocksmith 2014 has taught too many millions of people to play guitar to stop it. No, you guys still look like you're friends, and yet you played enemies. Yeah. How do you think? Oh wow! So you guys nailed that. Going out on a big number. Anything else that's worth bringing up about those?
I had like 106% mastery at home.
Oh, so this is kind of a failure for you, only doing 98.5.
It's all.
Seems like there's an awful lot of action on that low E string for both of you guys.
Yeah. It's
lots of hammer-ons, lots of pull-offs, or
it's a low C string in this case.
Yeah, so it's very floppy, a little floppy. Yeah, flaccid guitar.
Does it help to have heavier gauge strings when you're tuning down? Is there something if somebody likes playing down a lot or likes a lot of bands that do a lot of down tuning?
It would.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't tune down very much, but that's one thing that I've heard suggested.
Yeah, if you want to play a lot of tunes in this sort of tuning, and you have more than one guitar, which most guitar players do or should, N+1 is the right number of guitars. You might just want to set up a guitar tuned like this. I play heavy strings, but I still would like them heavier when I'm tuned down this low.
Sure.
It's hard to tune on the fly. That's why I brought this bass up from downstairs, is because we didn't have any basses that were tuned in drop C. and it was going to be a nightmare trying to do that right now because
Yeah.
the guitar takes a while to get used to that new tuning.
Yeah, it has to kind of acclimate. This one's been
Right.
sitting in this tuning for a few days.
Right.
So, the other thing is if you set up your guitar within an inch of its life and have crazy low action, if you tune down this low, you have less tension on the neck and it has some back bow and you might get some buzzing.
You mentioned 106%, and that's got some people in the chat talking. Some people don't understand where that extra 10% comes from. You can actually get 110% mastery in Rocksmith. Most people saw 100, and then they've told me, like, your game is broken. It gave me 103. I'm like, no. How do you get that extra 10% of mastery?
I actually don't know.
Does anyone in the room know?
It's master mode.
It's master mode. I was going to say, this comes to when you sort of take the training wheels off. I'm sorry, I thought that you guys all knew this.
I didn't know. I never got to master mode. I'm not good enough.
I think we have it disabled.
Yeah, we probably have master mode disabled. So as you
it on.
approach 100%, when you get past 100%, then the notes start fading out on the highway. And that lets you know, like, go fly, baby bird. You can really play this song on real guitar now without the prompts. So if you can do the whole song with, and with all of the notes having disappeared, then you could get a theoretical max of 110%. So 106% means you're pretty darn good, Brian.
We learned something today.
We did learn something today. I'm glad we learned something today. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna why don't you swing down a bit, or unless you want to switch places with me. Hey, I just wanted to... Oh, I never get to sit on the couch. I want to show off my cool T-shirt, just like Nigel Tufnell. Thanks for watching this week. We will be back next week, of course. We have one last thing to do, which is give away some more fun stuff. That fun stuff, now that I sat down, I want to show everybody the free swag. Silly me. We've got a lovely pack of accessories from Ernie Ball. We've got 2 sets of bass strings from their Slinky line, 1 regular and 1 Cobalt. We've got some picks. The picture says medium picks, but I will throw in some heavy picks for you because they're better on bass, and they sent us some heavy picks. Peg winder, which is not useful on your bass, honestly, sorry, but you can make a friend with a guitarist to say, hey, do you need to borrow my peg winder? Wonder wipes, which will keep your instrument clean and moisturized. You do want to watch the wood, especially rosewood necks. Rosewood or ebony, that's porous wood, and you want to make sure that you are lubricating that wood, replenishing the oils that come out of it, and cleaning the gunk from your fingers off of it. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a credit card and scraped dead skin cells off of the guitars in this office, but that's my hang-up, not yours. And also a strap, so why not? So if you listen to Misty, she will tell you what you need to do to win that, and we'll mail that out to you. You have to send Misty, if you are the winner, then you would send her a message with your personal info, your name, your address, and your telephone number, and I'll send it out either by UPS or FedEx, whichever one seems to make the most sense for where you live. And then you can enjoy free stuff. We'll also include some of those Rocksmith stickers and the Rocksmith picks that everybody's asking about. I did see a question earlier that said, can I buy Rocksmith picks? At this point, you cannot. They're just promotional items that I give out if I go to PAX or E3 or something like that. If we can get them made up to the point where you could actually go buy them, we would like that. I actually asked about that internally this week. Just don't know if that's going to be something that we can do right now. But we're flattered that you'd like to play with Rocksmith picks. And yes, we'd also like to get you Rocksmith shirts so that you can go to the mall and go, check me out. But we'll see. We're looking into all that stuff. No answers at this time. That's pretty much it. I'm Dan Amrick. I'm the community developer. You can always reach me. I'm the guy that runs at Ubisoft Studio SF on Twitter. Happy to answer your questions there or in email, rocksmithgame@ubisoft.com. Drop by our Facebook page. Go to our forums, rocksmith.ub.com. Thank you to Misty with 2 eyes. Misty is our chat mod, and she is the person that brings great giveaways to life. And thank you, Greg. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jared and David and Matt and Brian. And I see all these people. And Jason Kokel was here before, and Sam Schwartz. And we'll all be back in some permutation of that next week. If you would like to know what's coming out for DLC next week, go to our forums. I'll be posting a clue there tomorrow. And a little puzzle that you can figure out and Yeah, I think that if any of you follow our creative director Paul Cross on Twitter, he made a big promise this week, and I kind of want to put it in context. He's like, we've got some of the best DLC we've ever put out on deck for this fall and winter, and you're really going to love it. And so before you get your hopes up, I want to say he's absolutely right. You're going to like what we're doing this fall. We're very proud that we've been able to get all the air traffic control things lined up, and we've got some great stuff on the way. So thank you for being such faithful fans of Rocksmith, and we are listening to your requests, and I think we're going to be able to fulfill more of your requests as we go through the end of the year and into next. So thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with more stuff, and keep playing. Bye, everybody. Yeah, just keep waving like, yeah, just sort of like awkwardly until I get over here and I can send the last DLC Shinedown video. No, just keep waving because it's nice and awkward, and I really like. Okay, yeah.